Our normal competitors are nitrous pro-modified cars. Quick explanation of a pro-modified car. Take the biggest cubic inch engine that you have, stick it into the smallest, lightest car, and hang on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready to begin our Pro Racing Series here. First two cars into our burnout box. Tower side, car number 71, Mr. Cyril Borchuk from Waxhaw, Alberta. My mistake, car number 865, Tower side, Mr. Grant Flagg from Medicine Hat, 1969 Camaro, 427 cubic inches. He will be going up against car number 6665, Mr. Randy Wadmo from Lethbridge, Alberta, 1979 Plymouth Arrow with a 426 cubic inch Hemi in there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and the win does go to Mr. Randy Wadchuk at a time of 6:46 at 100.96 miles per hour. The next two cars into the burnout box are car number 15 on Tower side, Murray Van Murrian, a 72 Pontiac, 327 cubic inch. He will be going up against car 6745, Mr. Darren Mazer, here in Medicine Hat, 71 Vega, 350 cubic inch, and Darren is sponsored by Zelmer's Automotive. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next two cars into the burnout box. Tower side, car number 6313. Mr. Bob Kuhn from Havre, Montana. 1967 Camaro, 396 cubic inch. He will be going up against Mr. John Genevieve from Patricia, Alberta. 1964 Dodge 440 with 440 cubic inch. Yes, and the Montana boys continue their way on through at a time of 6.44 at 100.42 miles per hour. Our next two vehicles in here now. Car number 5447 on Tower side, Mr. Jack Lazier from Havre, Montana, 1972 Ford Pinto, a 466 cubic inch. His opponent, car number M429, Mr. Bob Adrian from here in Medicine Hat, 1970 Mustang. He's also running 466. Let's just see if maybe a little weight difference might help here. As you can tell by that Pinto, you know which way that the exhaust is running out of that one. Well, Mr. Adrian pulls that one out with a time of 720 at 99.72 miles per hour. Here are our next two vehicles coming up on Tower side. Car number 6643, Mr. Blaine Burton from Lethbridge, Alberta, 1974 Vega with a 396. His opponent, car number 6081, Mr. Sterling Forsyth, 1967 Chevy 2. He's run 454 cubic inches. And Sterling pulls a win out of that one at a 6:45 at 106 miles an hour. There, our next two competitors now lined up in the burnout box. Tower side, car number 18. This is twin brother to Mr. Roy Volk that was running that little blowing Pinto. This is Bruce, a little 73 Ford Pinto with a 289. Bruce's opponent is car number 6656, Mr. Danny Gustafson from here in Medicine Hat. The 1966 Nova with 355 cubic inch. As I mentioned earlier, tower side, car number 18, Mr. Bruce Volk. His opponent, car number 6656, Mr. Danny Gustafson, both of Medicine Hat. And he pulled himself that dreaded red light. So Danny continues his way on through at a time of 7:82 at 99 miles per hour. Okay, our next two vehicles in. Tower side, bike number 888. Bike number 888, Mr. Dwayne Otto Chuck from here in Medicine Hat. Be going up against car number 6669, Mr. Ron Bulley from Lethbridge, Alberta. First call for modified to the start staging lanes, please. First call for modified to the staging lanes. Okay, our next two cars into our burnout box. Tower side, car number 20. Rather a unique looking little car here. Okay, he'll be running up against car number 30, Mr. Scott Frank from here in Medicine Hat. 1969 Dart. You wait. Attention all drivers, tech cards to the tower now, please. We are missing tech cards. We need them to the tower. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we seem to have a little oops here with our front end dragster. He's got the twitch in the foot here. He's still trying to work a few bugs out of this car. The car may not look all that new or that modern, but it is. It respects and it meets all NHRA rulings. Like I say, they're still trying to get some bugs out of this car and try to get this thing running. Okay, our next two cars coming into the burnout box is car number 12 on the tower side, Mr. Stan Gale, driving a 1923 Model T with a 350 cubic inch Chevy. Spectator's side is car number 460. It's Mr. John Irwin from Patricia, Alberta, in a 1979 Mustang, 466 cubic inches and a couple of big gobblers sticking out of the hood there too. Second call for mods to the line, please. Second call for modifieds to the line. Yes, and Mr. Stan Gale continues himself on through with a time of 7.13 at 98.68 miles per hour. Okay, our next two cars coming into the staging lanes. Mr. Ian Galately, car number 6637 from here in Medicine Hat. He would like to let you people know that this car is for sale. By the way he's running it here, might be short a little bit of tires. Okay, his opponent is car number 36, Mr. Tim Risling from here in Medicine Hat, 1967 Camaro with 427 cubic inch. Last call for modified cars to the line. Car number 6637, Mr. Ian Galately, continues his way through at a time of 7.20, 101.32 miles per hour. Okay, our next two cars coming in. Tower side, car number 33, Mr. Walter Franz from here in Medicine Hat, 1970 Satellite, 440 cubic inches. His opponent, car W608, Mr. Doug Zeller from here in Medicine Hat. Doug would like to thank his sponsor of Ed Stock Welding. Unfortunately, Doug wasn't quick enough. Car number 33 continues his way on through at a time of 7.87 and 87 miles per hour. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a day for United Way. The whole weekend has been for United Way. So what we have done is we've decided we're going to have ourselves a special little celebrity race between our president, Mr. Larry Godden, and our campaign chairman, Mr. Garth Vallely. Now, if you take a look just down behind our tower here, we had to do some custom modifying here. We had to narrow up our slicks, get a little overdrive put into these things. So maybe, just maybe, once they're done in the burnout box, we might be able to get them to lift the front wheels on these custom race cars. You see what they're bringing out? Okay, you will notice that we do have our president, Mr. Stan Gale, down there. He is making sure that the vehicles are all teched, they are safe, and the drivers are safe, wearing their safety helmets as well. Last call, all mods to the staging lane, please. All modified cars to the staging lanes. Well, I don't know. I think I see a handicap now. I think somebody's starting out at about 9th or 10th gear in comparisons to second here. As you will notice, too, ladies and gentlemen, we have our Buster Couch Jr. down on the starting lines here, getting these guys staged, pre-staged, ready to race.
Yours. So you get those lights all lit up.
Okay, as our racers are staging in here, ladies and gentlemen, on spectator's side, we do have our Vice President, Mr. Garth Malali, and on tower side, our President, Mr. Larry Godden. As you can tell, our starter here is kind of helping push and twist. Whoa, spectator's side, look at this, deep stage. He's trying to cheat.
Use your boots, Darcy.
Oh, yeah, that's right, readjust that seat. Hang on, here we go. Come on now, if you watch the deep stage, oh, they're off, man, here we go. Reaction time now, 5.46 and 1.039. 60-foot reaction, 5.5 seconds. We're not doing too bad here. And I don't think they know which one is the shifter to get a higher gear out of these things, though. Oh, look at this, President glances over it. The rest of the way. Oh, this goes by. President's center line. Take the return road. Yes, we have a winner on spectator side at 34.96 seconds and a lightning speed of 11.25 miles an hour.
Oh, you're the wrong way.
Still right here down the track.
Get the trouble truck down. Mr. Ed Dick, all the way from Airdrie, Alberta. Ed Dick's got a 1980 Roadrunner, 360 cubic inch. He would like to thank Promods Specialties. Yeah, the winner out of that one was Mr. Ed Dick at a time of 9.79 and a speed of 66.85 miles an hour. Okay, our next two competitors in the burnout box, tower side. Truck number 1. You recognize the name, but you might not recognize the vehicle. Mr. Brian Baxter from here in Medicine Hat. He's had enough of sitting at home and watching it on TV here. He figured he might as well bring his tow truck out here and have a little bit of fun too. His competitors, car number 14. Mr. Toby Thompson from Bow Island. 1969 Dart GT, 383 cubic inch. He would like to thank A&H Auto Body, Burgess Auto Pro, and Klein Electric from Bow Island.
smart and he might have been quick. Brian still likes his truck and pulls her through at a 9.68 at 67 miles per hour. Okay, our next two cars into the burnout box. Tower side, car number 69, Mr. Wayne Herman, 1969 GTO, 454 cubic inch. His competitors, car number 5, Mr. Randy Sedlecki from here in Medicine Hat, 1968 Cuda, 360 cubic inch. Our next two competitors in the burnout box here, tower side, car number 3 is Mr. Terry Opsel from Maple Creek, Saskatchewan. Driving a 1966 Chevy 2 with a 350. He would like to thank Hurt Auto Repair of Maple Creek and Woody's Tavern from Tompkins, Saskatchewan. His competitor, car number 454. Mr. Greg Cook from here in Medicine Hat, 1971 Chevelle. Yep. 454 cubic inch. Greg Cook would like to thank Kingsway Fast Gas. Next two competitors coming into our burnout box, tower side, car number 26. Mr. Phil Gogolinski from Orion, Alberta, 64 Acadian with a 327. His competitor, car number C618. Mr. Harry Svingen from Airdrie, Alberta, 1929 Essex, 360 cubic inch Dodge motor in this one. Harry would like to thank Heritage Refrigeration, Able Cabs, and Straddle Holdings. No. Oh, unfortunately, our Essex pushed her a little too hard, and car 26 continues his way through. Time of 784 at a speed of 91 miles per hour. Now our next two competitors in burnout box, tower side, car number 29. Yep. Our other competitor in spectator side, car number 798. Might recognize that number if you've been here before. That's Mr. Todd Fleck from here in Medicine Hat. Unfortunately, he broke his other race car in Calgary, and he figured, well, what the heck, sunshine, and bring my baby out and see what I can do with this one. Unfortunately, Todd ran her just a little too fast, and car number 29 continues his way on through at a time of 8.03 at 95 miles an hour. Our next two competitors coming in, tower side, car number 13. Mr. Mark Splett from here at Medicine Hat, 71 Chevelle, 454 cubic inch. His competitor, car number 71. Mr. Cyril Forchuk from Vauxhall, Alberta, 1971 Cuda with 440 cubic inch big block here. Mr. Mark Splett gets to continue his way on up the line here, running her through at an 8:39 of 86 miles per hour. Okay, our next two competitors that you can see in here is tower side, car C291. Mr. Steve Beck from Calgary, Alberta. A 1974 Ford Maverick, a 351 cubic inch Windsor. His competitor, car number 32, Mr. Jeff Hirsch from Medicine Hat, 70 Chevelle, 350 cubic inch. First call for street class, please. First call for street class. I do so. Okay, our next two competitors in the burnout box here, tower side, car number 27, Mr. Rick Opsel from Maple Creek, Saskatchewan. That's his brother to the car you seen earlier. Little 1962 Nova with 383 cubic inch small block in there. He would like to thank Hurt Auto Repair and Sonny's Auto Body. His competitor on spectator's side, car number 055, Mr. Dwayne Globrecht from Calgary, Alberta, in a 1955 Chevy. Dwayne continues his way on through with his 55 Chevy at a speed of 85 miles an hour at a time of 7.96. In the burnout box, tower side, car number 088, Mr. Dave Hamilton from here in Medicine Hat, a 72 Pontiac Le Mans with 355 cubic inch small block. His competitor, car number 6308, it's Mr. Rod Havens from Airdrie, Alberta. 1971 Dodge Charger, 440 cubic inch. He would like to thank Able Taxi Limited and Heritage Refrigeration. Oh, and the win goes to Mr. Hamilton on our tower side here, car 088. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next car coming up on spectator side, car number 16, is on a buy run. Mr. Alex Schmaltz from Fox Valley, Saskatchewan. 1968 Nova, 454 cubic inch. He would like to thank the Kyle Hotel, Chisholm Water Hauling, and Schmaltz Insurance Sliders. Schmaltz Insurance and Sliders Nightclub. So you tell me, how do you do that? Run against yourself and break out? Unfortunately, he did her 7.91 at a speed of 88 miles per hour. Okay, our next two competitors coming in is street class, tower side, car number 11, Mr. Murray Pfeiffer, 1970 Plymouth Cuda, 383 cubic inch big block. And his competitor is car number 22, Mr. Frank Devine from Medicine Hat, in a 1952 Chevy Bel Air at 350 cubic inch. He'd like to thank the Nifty 50s Cafe. Wow, how do you like that? Double breakout. Unfortunately, Murray was a little slower on the breakout, so he gets to continue his way on through. Okay, our next two competitors coming up here. Pretty lightning. I think the guy on this side, I think he's seen him switching his air conditioning on here. Okay, car number 2, Mr. Steve Schwartz. Running a 1991 Thunderbird with a 302. And his competitor is number 4, Mr. Rob Sturm from Medicine Hat, in a 1992 Mazda pickup. Well, I guess that air conditioning kind of pulled off there and helped. He didn't pull a red light. He continues his way through. Okay, our next two competitor street class, tower side car number 8, and a nice car at that, including the name, Carrie Bully. Yep, she likes to pull off some trick lights with this trick-looking little car. Her competitor is number 6, Mr. Tracy Marrier from here in Medicine Hat, a 1982 Chevy S15 with a 4.3 liter V6. Oh, and Tracy gets to continue his way on through with their lightning speed of 1098 at 65 miles an hour. Okay, our next two competitors coming up here. Tower side, car number 9. Okay, this is Christina Dewar. She was out here doing a little bit of racing here yesterday, and she had all these guys sweating serious. This lady was cutting a 003 light. Now that's reacting time. Her little 72 Pontiac Ventura with the 350. Okay, her competitor is car number 10, Mr. Tim Lice from here in Medicine Hat, in a 1992 Lumina Z34 with a 3.4 liter V6. She cut the light of a .069 reaction time on that one. Hey, and she pulls a win off at 10.19 of 68 miles per hour. Okay, our next two competitors coming in. Tower side, car number 25, Mr. Greg Greenstein from here in Medicine Hat, a 71 Camaro 355. His competitor, car number 23 on spectator side, Mr. Derek Hahn from Medicine Hat, in a 1937 Hudson 454 cubic inch powered. I tell you what, don't laugh at a Hudson until you run against one and win. He pulls that one through it at 9:45 at 65 miles an hour. Our next two competitors coming in on tower side, car number 17, Mr. Thane Miner from here in Medicine Hat, 72 Ford Mustang, 289 cubic inch. Oh, he's got a little note here. It says, "Thanks, Mom." I guess he must have borrowed her for today. Okay, his competitors, car number 34, Mr. Glenn Risling from here in Medicine Hat. Little 63 Chevy 2 with 327 cubic inch. Well, he only gets to thank his mom once. His competitor kind of beat him on that one. Time of 9:32 at a speed of 78 miles per hour. There, our next two competitors coming up tower side, car number 24. Might want to take a little bit of a listen on the front end of this funny little buzzing noise. Got a little bit of a handicap under the hood with that little 471 blower stuck on top. His competitor, car number 37. Mr. Trevor Rhodes is driving this car for Ian Galately. This car is for sale. Yeah, I tell you what, little Dodge Challenger with 360 cubic inches wedged in there. Great grocery getter. competitors coming into our burnout box here, tower side, car number 39. Mr. Jason Donald from here in Medicine Hat. 1967 Chevy Nova 2. And his competitor is car number... As soon as the smoke clears here, car number 19. Mr. Lee Turpin from here in Medicine Hat. In 1967 Nova 355 cubic inch. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our first two cars coming up is car number 6089, Mr. Ross Hoganson from Coaldale, Alberta, 1990 IROC Camaro, 582 cubic inch. He'll be running up against car number 5137, Mr. Dan Boat from Regina, Saskatchewan, 89 Camaro IROC with 477 cubic inches. You can see they're purging their nitrous, getting ready. Got any cameras? Get them loaded, get them ready. Watch this side-by-side race. Yes, sir. Little squeak, little squawk. Get them going. 549, 133 mile an hour on our tower side. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next two Pro modified cars coming in. Tower side, car number 6280, 1955 Chevy Bel Air. His competitor, car number 645, Mr. Vern Mills from Missoula, Montana. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause again. What do we think of the 55 on tower side? Let's hear it. Mr. Vern Mills on sirree, 536 at 135 miles an hour. Mr. Vern Mills backpedaling, slipping, sliding, and saying, uh-oh, not again. 756 at 72 mile an hour. All the way down the track. First two cars coming into our burnout box. Tower side, car number 865. Mr. Danny Gustafson, 66 Nova, 377 cubic inch small block. Gustafson gets to continue his way on through at a time of 7:05 at 100.65. Our next two competitors that are now in staging lanes here is Tower side, car number 6669, Mr. Ron Foley from Lethbridge, Alberta, 1964 Chevy Corvair, 377 cubic inch small block. His competitor, car number 6313. Mr. Ron Kuhn from Havre, Montana, 1967 Camaro, 396 cubic inch. He would like to thank his sponsors of Will Ray Manufacturing, Fort Benton, and Archie's Auto Body from Havre, Montana. Our next two competitors in our burnout box. Tower side, car number 2, and Gale, 1923 Model T, 350 cubic inch. I'd like to thank his sponsors, Beltawana Auto Body and TJ Sign. His competitor, spectator side, car number 6745, Mr. Darren Mazur from here in Minnesota. 1971 Chevy Vega, 350 cubic inch. I'd like to thank his sponsor of Zelmer's Automotive. First call, second round, modified cars, two staging lanes. Of 98.92 miles per hour. There, next two Tower side, car number 5447, Mr. Jack Lazier from Havre, Montana, 1972 Ford Pinto, 466 cubic inch. His competitor on spectator side, car number 30, Mr. Scott Frank from Medicine Hat, 1969 Dart. We'd like to thank his sponsors of Riesling Rocket Fuels. next two competitors in the burnout box. Tower side, car number 6637, Mr. Ian Galately, 1968 Buda 340 cubic inch. Sponsored by Promods Specialties out of Calgary and Medicine Hat Plymouth Chrysler. He would like to let you people know this car is for sale. His competitor, car number 6081, Mr. Sterling Forsyth, 1967 Chevy 2, 454 cubic inch. Sterling continues his way on through with a 656 at 98 miles an hour. Okay, our next car you can see pulling into our lights now is car number 33, Mr. Walter Franz from here in Medicine Hat. He pulled himself a buy run out of this. 1970 Saturn. Coming in, our side, car number 454, Mr. Greg Cook from here in Medicine Hat, 71 Chevelle with 454 cubic inch. His competitor, car number 6603, Mr. Ed Dick from Airdrie, Alberta, 1980 Plymouth Roadrunner, 360 cubic inch. Car number 29 to the line. Full 76 Chevy half-ton, kind of a homemade super cab type thing here. 454 cubic inch. His competitor, car number 16. I tell you what, the truck might look funny with a topper and everything else, but Brian pulls a win off at a 965 with 75 miles an hour. Our next two competitors you see in the burnout box here right now, Spectrum Tower side, car number 69. Mr. Wayne Herman from here in Medicine Hat, 450 cubic inch. And his competitor, Calgary, Alberta, in a 1955 Chevy Bel Air, also with 454 cubic inch. Street class to the line, please. Street class to the line. I tell you what, Dwayne pulled that one out real quick, real nice. There, our next car that was fortunate enough to pull himself a buy run, Mr. Phil Gogolinski from Orion, Alberta. Alberta. 1964 Acadian, 327 cubic inches. Winner of that is car number C291. Mr. Steve Beck pulls that one off. Our next two competitors that we have in the burnout box here, Tower Side. Ooh, lucky number 13. Mr. Mark Splett from here in Medicine Hat, 1971 Chevelle, 454 cubic inches. And his competitor, I'd like to tell you about this car, but it tells me number 29, and it looks like a chicken had a heyday on this one. We don't even know who's driving this car. It must be a ghost. We had ourselves a foul and a breakout, and our ghost car won that one. Okay, our first two competitors coming up in the street class on Tower Side. Truck number 6, Mr. Tracy Mayer from here in Medicine Hat, 1982 GMC S15 with a 4.3 liter Vortec V6. His competitor, number 34 on spectator side, Mr. Glenn Risling from here in Medicine Hat, 1963 Chevy 2 at 327 cubic inch. Ooh, smart man, gets on the brakes, still wins her, pulling her through at 11:19 at woohoo, 53 mile an hour. Okay, our next two competitors coming in on Tower's side. This car is for sale. This car number 37. It's a nice little Dodge Challenger, 360 cubic inch. Owned by Mr. Ian Galately. He's running up against car number 9, Miss Christina Dewar. We call her the fine line lady. She's been cutting lights as 003, 060. Let's just see how she does this time around. Geez, unfortunately, Christina breaks out, so car 37 continues to wail. Our next competitors coming up, Tower Side. car number 39, Mr. Jason Donald from here in Medicine Hat, going up against car number 2, Mr. Steve Schwartz, the layback, be lazy man. He's got air gotta like that, eh? Loaded right up with every kind of toy you can think of, and he pulls a win off with that one at 1071 at 68 miles an hour. There, our next two competitors coming up on tower side. Car number 23, our 37 Hudson, driven by Mr. Derek Hahn here at Medicine Hat. Going up against car number 11, Mr. Murray Pfeiffer from here at Medicine Hat. 1970 Cuda, 383 cubic inch, against a 37 Hudson with 454 cubic inch. Okay, our car we do have into the lines here now. Car number 24, Mr. Gordon Paulson from here in Medicine Hat. This is just what we call a little test and tune. I hear he's got himself one of them little jugs of laughing gas in the trunk, and he's going to give her a try. Bonus round to the staging lanes, please. Bonus round to the staging lane. Could we please get our tricycle riders up to the tower, please? Tricycle riders up in the tower here, please. Okay, our first two competitors of the bonus round tower lane, Mr. Stan Gale from here in Medicine Hat, 1923 bucket here, 350 cubic inch. His competitor is car number 22, 1952 Chev Bel Air, 350 cubic inch. Well, unfortunately, Stan wasn't quite quick enough on the gas pedal there, and car number 22, Mr. Frank Devine, continues his way on through. Our next two competitors coming in, tower side, car number 088, Mr. Dave Hamilton from here in Medicine Hat in a 72 Le Mans. He would like to thank his sponsors of Groom Saloon, Cranes Auto, Auto Connections, Bedroom Shop, and Stitch and Style. His competitor, car number 5, Mr. Randy Sedlecki, in a 1968 Barracuda with 360 cubic inch. Whoa, unfortunately, Randy pushed her a little too hard, a little too fast, broke out. So Mr. Hamilton gets to continue his way on through. Okay, our next two competitors, tower side, car number 6308. Mr. Rod Havens from Airdrie, Alberta, 71 Dodge Charger, 440 cubic inch. His competitor, car number 36. Mr. Tim Risling from here in Medicine Hat, 67 Camaro, 427 cubic inch. sirree. Our Mr. Rod Havens from Airdrie, Alberta gets to continue his way on through. Here, our next two competitors coming in. Tower side, car number 13, Mr. Mark Split from here in Medicine Hat, 71 Chevelle. His competitor, car number 6669, Mr. Ron Boley from Lethbridge, Alberta. Little 1964 Cavera with 377 cubic inch mounted way back in that car. Thanks for sharing that. Sorry. Here, our next two competitors now coming up. Tower side, truck number 4, Mr. Rob Sturm from here in Medicine Hat in a 1992 Mazda pickup. 133.2 cubic inches. His competitors, spectator side, car number 460. Mr. John Irwin from Patricia, Alberta. 79 Mustang, 466 cubic inch. Huh, you gotta like that. John Irwin pulls a win off on that one. Okay, our next two competitors coming in. Tower side, car number 39, Mr. Jason Donald from here in Medicine Hat. 1967 Chevy 2 Nova. His competitor, spectator side, car number 865, Mr. Grant Flag. One good-looking little 69 Camaro, 427 cubic inch. Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry. Yes, sirree, and the win goes to Mr. Grant Flag and his 69 Camaro. There, our next two competitors coming up. Tower side, car number 454, Mr. Greg Cook from here in Medicine Hat, 71 Chevelle. And his competitor, car number 798, Mr. Todd Fleck from Medicine Hat here, 1969 Beaumont with 396. Like I was saying earlier, this is Todd's baby. This one only comes out on sunny days, and he was saying last night, he said, this car's never got so dirty as it has on this drag strip. Well, Todd Fleck gets to continue his way on through with a win on that one. There, our next two competitors in lanes now. Tower side, car number 6643, Mr. Blaine Burton from Lethbridge, Alberta. 1974 Chevy Vega, 396 cubic inch. He would like to thank the Auto Appearance Center. And his competitor, car number 11 on spectator side, Mr. Murray Pfeiffer, 1970 Cuda, 383 cubic inch big block. And Blaine Burton pulls a win out of that one just by a hair, though. Our next two competitors coming in. Tower side, car number 31. Mr. Rick Van Marion in our Japanese Ford 1984 Nissan, powered by 289 cubic inch. His competitor on spectator side, car number 14, Mr. Toby Thompson from Bow Island. 1969 Dart GT is 383. Ooh, and our Japanese Ford pulls her off at a 973 at 74 miles an hour. Watch his front bumper on this car. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the next two competitors coming in, tower side, car number 440. Mr. John Genevieve from Patricia, Alberta, in a 64 Dodge 440 powered by 440. And his competitor, car number 15, Mr. Murray Van Marion, 1972 Pontiac, 327 cubic inch holes. And John Genevieve from Patricia pulls a win out with his big 440, 440, 440. Like that one. Like that one, did you? There, our next two competitors coming up, tower side, car number 27, Mr. Rick Opsel from Maple Creek, Saskatchewan, a 1962 Nova, 383 cubic inch small block Chevy in that one. And his competitor, car number 17, Mr. Thane Miner, 1972 Mustang. Put his extra money in. He's saying, thanks again, Mum. Fortunately, Rick just couldn't wait for that tree to come down, pushed her a little too hard, pulled himself the dreaded red light. There, our next two competitors coming in. Tower side, car number 16, Mr. Alex Smaltz from Fox Valley, Saskatchewan. With his competitor, car number C618, Mr. Harry Schwingen from Airdrie, Alberta. Harry and his faithful Essex pulls off another win on that one, an 888, 78 miles an hour. Next two competitors in the Burnout box, power side. Car number 18, Mr. Bruce Falk from here in Medicine Hat. 73 Pinto with a 289. His competitor on spectator side is car number 71, Mr. Cyril Forchuk from Vauxhall, Alberta. 1971 Cuda with 440 cubic inch big block. And Mr. Cyril Forchuk and his Cuda pulls off a win on that one. There, our next two competitors coming in, power side, car number M429, Mr. Bob Adrian from here in Medicine Hat, 1970 Mustang, 466 cubic inch. And his competitor is car number 5. Sorry, his competitor number is car number 69, Mr. Wayne Herman from here in Medicine Hat. 69 GTO with 454. Mr. Bob Adrian pulls a win off on that one and continues his way on through. Our next two competitors coming in. Tower side, car number 8. Mrs. Carrie Bully in her 1955 Chevy from Lethbridge, Alberta. Okay, and her competitor, Bike 888, Mr. Dwayne Ottawichuk, on a 1986 Suzuki GSX-R 100. Unfortunately, Dwayne broke out, and Mrs. Bully gets to continue on with her nice little 55. Okay, our next two competitors now in a burnout box, tower side, car number 3. Mr. Terry Opsel from Maple Creek, Saskatchewan. And his competitors, car number 28. Mr. Wayne Joss from Lethbridge, Alberta, a 1980 Olds Cutlass with 488 cubic inch in this little car. Terry just couldn't wait for that green light to come down, so Mr. Joss gets to continue his way on through. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our cars coming up now is round 2 of bonus round cars. And our tower side is car number 088, Mr. Dave Hamilton from here at Medicine Hat in a 72 Pontiac Le Mans. His competitor, spectator side, car number C618, Mr. Harry Svengen from Airdrie, Alberta, in his 1929 Essex. That Essex is powered by Dodge. Okay, our next two competitors sitting in a burnout box here on tower side, car number 440. Mr. John Genevieve from Patricia, Alberta, in his 1964 440. He's going up against Mr. Todd Fleck, car number 78, and 1969 Beaumont and 396. That's a good band, you two. Well, unfortunately, the dreaded red light appears, and Todd Fleck gets to continue his way on through. Our next two competitors in the burnout box on tower side, car number 6643, Mr. Blaine Burton from Lethbridge, Alberta, 74 Vega with 396 cubic inches. His competitor, car number 71 on spectator side, Mr. Cyril Forchuk from Vauxhall, Alberta, 1971 Cuda, 440 cubic inch. And the win goes to Mr. Blaine Burton on that one at a time of 774, a speed of 83 miles an hour. Our next two competitors coming up, tower side, car number 6308, Mr. Rod Havens from Airdrie, Alberta, and a 1971 Dodge Charger, 440 cubic inch. Running up against number 22, Mr. Frank Devine from here in Medicine Hat, in a 1952 Chev Bel Air with 350 cubic inch. He'd like to thank Nifty 50s Cafe for giving him a hand to come out here. And win goes to that one of Mr. Rod Havens at a time of 8:40 and a speed of 70.05 miles an hour. Our next two competitors in burnout box now. Tower side, car number 8, Mrs. Carrie Bulley in her 1955 Chevy. Our competitors, car number 865, Mr. Grant Flagg, 1969 Camaro, 427 cubic inch. Well, unfortunately, Carrie cut herself a real fine red light there. And we continue on here. Next two competitors in the burnout box, car number 13 on tower side, Mr. Mark Splett from here in Medicine Hat, the 1971 Chevelle, 454 cubic inch. And his competitor on spectator side is truck number 31, Mr. Rick Van Marion. Still got that truck running here. 1984 Nissan with a 289 cubic inch in it. Okay, Mr. Mark Splett pulled a win off on that one at a time of 8:42 and a speed of 80 mile an hour. Our next two competitors coming in on tower side, car number 17, Mr. Thane Miner of Medicine Hat, 72 Mustang. He's still thanking his mom because he's still going here. And his competitor, car number 460, Mr. John Irwin from Patricia, Alberta, 79 Mustang, 466 cubic inch big block. On tower side, car number M429, Mr. Bob Adrian from here in Medicine Hat, 1970 Mustang. He would like to thank Briar Park Automotive and his competitors, car number 28, Mr. Wayne Joss from Lethbridge, Alberta, sponsored by Joss Technical. It's a 1980 Olds 442 Cutlass with 488 cubic inch. Unfortunately, Bob couldn't wait, so Wayne gets to continue his way on through. We have our little blowing Pinto coming out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just as an exhibition, we have Bruce Volk's brother coming out, Roy Vulcan, in his little Pinto with a blowing 351 cubic inch. See if he can do himself a Pro Mod burnout all the way down the track again. You might want to let your guy know standing on that little platform there, he might have to jump. This is a wild car. Well, Roy runs that through at a 7:02 at 102 mile an hour. Not bad. He kept her in a straight line this time. Yes, sirree. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, what we got coming up next is our Pro Mod cars. In our Tower Lane, car number 6280, Mr. Tim Robinson from Bozeman, Montana, 1955 Chevy, 632 cubic inch. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. He's purging out his nitrous. We're getting down dirty and serious. Car number 5137, Mr. Dan Vogt from Regina, Saskatchewan. He's getting ready. He's going to make sure that our little competitor here, Mr. Tom Robinson's going to work that Chevy and work it hard. Yes, sirree, you gotta like that spectator side 519, 137 miles an hour. Unfortunately, losing side on tower 538 at 138 miles an hour. Well, for those of you, ladies and gentlemen, that didn't really hear our times and speeds of our Pro modified cars, on the Tower Lane, the losing lane was a time of 5:30. As I was saying, was a losing time of 5:30, a speed of 138.34 miles per hour. Okay, and a winning time of our Pro modified cars, car number 5137, Mr. Dan Vogt from Regina, Saskatchewan. Time of 5.19 at 137.96 miles per hour. Okay, our Mr. Gordon Paulson coming up here in car number 29 is just a test and tune. For you down there. Yeah, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we also have car number 69 on Tower's side, Mr. Wayne Herman, who has also decided to do a little test and tune. He just put this dual 4 on his car here, and he's trying to get her straightened out and get her running proper. Our first couple of cars coming up in bonus round here. Tower side, car number 17. Mr. Thane Miner from Medicine Hat in a 72 Mustang. Spectator side, car number 798, Mr. Todd Fleck, 1969 Beaumont, 396 big block. Pro cars to the line, please. Pro cars to the line. No, a little malfunction on our tree here. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we had a little malfunction in our tree here, and it couldn't quite understand what we were feeding into it. So we will be bringing these two cars back around again. And in the meantime, we'll run the rest of our bonus round cars. Two cars coming up in the burnout box. Power side, car number 13, Mr. Mark Split from here in Medicine Hat. He'll be going against car number 088, Mr. Dave Hamilton from here in Medicine Hat. Mr. Dave Hamilton would like to thank the Groom Saloon, Cranes Auto, Auto Connections, Bedroom Shop, and Stitch and Style. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to have ourselves a little bit of a delay here. It's actually not really of a delay. You can see our president, Mr. Stan Gale, coming out onto the track here. He wants to make a presentation to Mr. Grant Flagg of a 1969 Camaro. He was chosen as best appearing car here. I think we should give him a really good round of applause for a real nice looking little car. That trophy was sponsored to us from Advanced Plating. That's a trophy sponsor. I like that little star effect off the hood there. Okay, Mr. Grant Flagg will be going up against car number 6643, Mr. Blaine Burton from Lethbridge, Alberta, here in a 1974 Vega with a 396 cubic inch. I think that kind of explains why he can't quite close the hood tight. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite quick enough on that. Mr. Blaine Burton gets to continue his way through at a 773 at 88 miles an hour. Car number 08. Car number 088, Mr. Dave Hamilton. Could we get you back into the staging lanes, please? Mr. Hamilton, to the staging lanes. Okay, our next two cars coming in, spectator side, car number 6308, Tower side, 6308, Mr. Rod Havens from Airdrie, Alberta. He'll be running against car number 28, Mr. Wayne Joss from Lethbridge, Alberta. Street number 17, Street 17, Mr. Thane Minor, back to the staging lanes. Walter Franz to the staging lanes, please. Mr. Walter Franz to the staging lanes. Okay, our next two competitors in here, spectator side, car number 798, Mr. Todd Fleck, and Street 17 on tower side, Mr. Thane Minor. Mr. Todd Fleck pulls a win out of that one in an 884 of 80.73 miles per hour. Pro now? All modified cars to the line, please. Modified cars to the line. Our next two competitors coming to line on tower side, car number 6745, Mr. Darren Mazer from here in Medicine Hat, 1971 Vega, sponsored by Zelmer Automotives. His competitors, car number 6313, Mr. Bob Kuhn from Havre, Montana, 1967 Camaro. Mr. Darren Mazer continues his way on down the line here. He's working them away one by one. Modified cars to the line, please. Modified cars to the line. Our next two competitors up here, tower side. Car number 6081, Mr. Sterling Forsyth, and a 67 Chevy 2 454 powered. His competitor, car number 6656, Mr. Danny Gustafson from here in Medicine Hat. 66 Nova, 355 cubic inch small block. And Sterling continues his way on through the line here at a time of 6:52 at 103.76 miles an hour. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we had a no-show in our tower lane, so spectator lane car number 33, Mr. Walter Franz from Medicine Hat, gets a nice easy by run. He runs that one through at a 777 at 990.49. Ooh, and he's dead on his dial-in of 777. Which two? Streetcars to the staging lanes, please. Streetcars to the staging lanes. if you're wondering, ladies and gentlemen, car number 30, Mr. Scott Frank, he was supposed to run against car 33, but he couldn't get the fire to the pot quick enough, so he's just going to do a little exhibition run here for us. Okay, our next two vehicles that we have in our burnout box here on Tower Side. Car number 6603, Mr. Ed Dick from Airdrie, Alberta, 1980 Plymouth Roadrunner, 360 cubic inch small block. And his competitor, car number C00055 on Spectators Lane, Mr. Dwayne Glubrecht from Calgary, Alberta, 1955 Chevy Bel Air, 454 cubic inch. And Dwayne continues his way on through with his really nice looking little 55 Chevy. Our next two competitors in their burnout box here now. Tower Side, truck number 1, Mr. Brian Baxter, 1976 Chevy half-ton, 454 cubic inch. His competitor is our Ghost number 29. We still don't know who's driving it. We know he's got a helmet on. Oh yeah, Darcy's double checking to make sure there is a driver in there. Streetcars to the staging lane, please. Streetcars to the staging lane. Oh, Mr. Brian Baxter pulls a win out of that one just by a tight little squeak, though. Oh, that's because our ghost car broke out. Here are our next two competitors in the burnout box. Tower Side, car number 26, Mr. Phil Gogolinski from Orion, Alberta, 1964 Acadian 327. Going up against car number C291, Mr. Steve Beck from Calgary, Alberta, 1974 Ford Maverick 351 Windsor. Mr. Phil Gogolinski continues his way on through. He pulled that one off real quick in a 785 at 87 miles an hour. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next two vehicles coming into our staging lanes here are just a test and tune vehicle. They decided that his Chevy's better than the other one, so they're going to find out who's better than what. Bonus cars to the staging lane, please. Bonus cars to the staging lane. Here, our next two competitors coming in on Tower Side is truck number 6, Mr. Tracy Mayer from here in Medicine Hat in a 1982 GMC S15. He's going against car number 2, Mr. Steve Schwartz. Unfortunately, Steve was too lazy to dig out his real race car, so he thought, why not? See what my wife does. I'll come out and beat on the T-Bird for a day or so. Unfortunately, he wasn't quite quick enough, and Tracy Mayer gets his way on through. There, our next two competitors coming up tower side. Car number 37, driven by Mr. Trevor Rhodes, and it's owned by Ian Galately. He tells me this car's for sale. Like, he's desperate. He wants to get rid of her here. And his competitors, car number 23, our 1937 Hudson, powered by a 454 cubic inch Chevy. Hey, our little 37 Hudson was quick enough, and he continues his way on through. How did you know? Here, our next two competitors you can see sitting in the burnout box right now are just what we call as a test and tune cars. Our bike number 888 and our car 6669. Yeah, that was a little trick one there. We decided to pull a pro tree on these guys and run them down. I tell you, they both reacted real quick and ran her down. And a win to our bike of 667 at 106 miles an hour. Unfortunately, our little Corvair lost it at 696 at 102 miles an hour. There, our next two competitors coming through the line. Tower side, car number 6643. Mr. Blaine Burton from Lethbridge, Alberta in 1974 Vega. He's competing against Mr. Todd Fleck in car number 798 in a 1969 Beaumont. Mr. Blaine Burton in car number 6643 continues his way down at 773 at 82.60 miles per hour. Okay, our next two competitors up on tower side, car number 088, Mr. Dave Hamilton from Aaron Medicine Hat in a 1972 Pontiac LeLance. Going against car number 6308, Mr. Rod Havens from Airdrie, Alberta in a 1971 Dodge Charger, 440 cubic inch big block Dodge. Mr. Dave Hamilton won that one, and he continues his way on down at a time of 7.85 at 82.41 miles per hour. Again, our next first two cars of the Pro coming in. Tower side is car number 33, Mr. Walter Franz from here in Medicine Hat. And his competitor, car number 6081, Mr. Sterling Forsyth from here in Medicine Hat. That hard. Still pushed himself pretty hard at a 658 at 108 miles an hour. Okay, our next car coming up in the burnout box here, car number 6745, Mr. Darren Mazur of Medicine Hat. Zelmer Automotive sponsored 1971 Vega. Good camera shooting. Okay, our first two competitors coming in the modified class on tower side. Truck number 1, Mr. Brian Baxter, 1976 Chevy half-ton with 454 cubic inch big block. His competitor, car number 26, Mr. Phil Gogolinski from Ryan, 1964 Acadian with 327. Brian Baxter gets to continue on through at a 967 at a screaming 68 miles per hour. Okay, our next car coming up is a by-run car. Car number C6055. Mr. Dwayne Glubrecht from Calgary, Alberta. 1955 Chevy Bel Air, 454 cubic inch. Gentlemen, we have a couple of testing tunes coming up here. Unfortunately, our car number 29 is still our unknown driver. We still don't know who's sitting behind the wheel of that thing. And our car number 24 on spectator's side, Mr. Gordon Paulson. Zoom in closer. Well, unfortunately, our car number 29 is won that one, running her through at a 778 at 95 miles an hour. If anybody happens to know who's driving this car, do you want to let us know, please? We still can't figure this one out. Gentlemen, this will be quite an interesting one. Mr. Risling's decided to sit back, watch, let his girlfriend get behind the wheel and see what's going to happen. My mistake, it's his wife that's driving this. Her helmet isn't that far down. As you can see, Tim's giving his wife a little bit of a last-minute instruction here. He's telling her, remember now, the brake pedal's the one on the left, gas pedal's the one that goes all the way to the floor. Tim's just standing back here saying, hey, you break it, you fix it, and it might be a divorce. Well, I tell you what, for a young lady that's never run anything before, her reaction time on a light was a .761. She can't really complain. I've seen some guys that are trying to make a living at that, and they're not that quick. Can I get bonus cars, street cars, modified cars, and pro cars to the line, please? Grudge match. This is just a grudge match. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a little bit of a grudge match. Truck number 31 and car number 15 at Van Marion Brothers. I think somebody's kind of sitting back there a little bit, doing a little bit of tease and maybe pushing his brother on with his truck here, see if he can really get her going. Okay, this is bonus final. Alberta, 1974 Chevy Vegas, 396 cubic inch. In spectator side, car number 088, Mr. Dave Hamilton from here in Medicine Hat with a 1972 Pontiac Le Mans. Mr. Blaine Burton wins that one, coming it through at a 7:69 at 92.27 miles an hour. 92 miles an hour. Our next two competitors now coming into our burnout box here. Tower side, truck number 6, Mr. Tracy Mayer from here in Medicine Hat, a 1972 GMC S15 with a V6, going against car number 23, our 1937 Hudson, 454 cubic inch Chevy powered. Hudson's got some serious catching up to do, and it looks like he's doing a pretty good job at it. Yeah, and he pulls a win off on that one at 9.40 at 71 miles an hour. Final two coming in modified class Tower Lane. Truck number 1, Mr. Brian Baxter from here in Medicine Hat, a 1976 Chevy half-ton 454 powered. His competitor, spectator side, car number C055, Mr. Dwayne Glubrecht from Calgary, Alberta, 1955 Chevy Bel Air, 454 cubic inch. Let's see who's going to do this one here. No. Oh, and we have what we call a double breakout. Fortunately, Brian didn't break out as bad, so Mr. Brian Baxter is the winner of that class. Our final two competitors coming in. Tower Lane, car number 6081, Mr. Sterling Forsyth from Medicine Hat. Racing car number 6745, Mr. Darren Mazer from here in Medicine Hat as well, 1971 Chevy Vega, 350 cubic inch. I guess you can kind of call this a grudge match for best friends. Oh! Unfortunately, Sterling was a little too quick in letting go of that brake, and Darren wins that one at a 7:09 at 99.20 miles an hour. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for coming out to our last scheduled race of the year. We would like you to keep your ears open on the radio and watch newspaper. If our weather continues like this, we will continue racing. And please do remember one thing when you're driving home. Let's keep the drag racing to the track and keep the speed to the speed limit.